they did not last too long. So we enjoyed a bath in the deep, deep and big, big blue. It felt like being the lure on the line. Unfortunately, no shark fin appeared behind us. So we got a little bit more courageous, but not more elegant.
Also gut, seine Springen war recht unelegant.
Time passed, the winds kept steady, very low. Our headsail was pulled out, but it might still have not liked it. So we kept rolling left, right, left, right. When we went more than 3 knots, they were already happy. The sunset distracted us a bit. Hopes were high to get better wind soon. We started moving a bit. But soon the wind got weaker. So we tested our man overboard capabilities at night. But even running under engine, we lost the buoy. Late in the morning the winds picked up. Palmerston appeared on the horizon. The surf is pounding the reef, but around the corner, in the shade of the wind, we get the mooring. About 50 people live in Palmerston, and as many yachts visit a year. There are certainly more birds than people. This one lost his parents. Frigate birds sometimes get adopted by people. We hope this one will survive. The islanders export some fish. They interact a lot with other islands. Right now the bigger part of the population is on another island for a cultural event. Palmerston belongs to New Zealand and is well connected to the rest of the world. The supply ship, however, arrives only about every quarter year.
Ein Beachvolleyballfeld. Alles, was man braucht auf einer Insel.
The chicken adapted well, too.
No, when our big pig, his name is Eric. Eric died.
The islanders bring back the yachties altogether. The reef is difficult to navigate and they prefer to do it themselves. We enjoy a wonderful sunset and wait for the next day to dive a bit on the outside reef. Hopping off the transom of Jade Akka, we see a lot of fish. A deep blue drop-off. Many healthy corals. And from the distance, we hear the whales. Visibility is super. So we spend a few hours in the water. But first, we had to entangle our mooring buoy. Now, listen to the whales yourself. We headed away from Palmerston in very good winds. According to the forecast, we had to hurry. However, it turned out that the forecast was pretty wrong. For the first part, we made good progress again. It was a pleasure to sail into the night. For once we reefed a little bit, so the person on watch would have it easier to manage the boat.
Jetzt haben wir mal ein bisschen Tempo. Jetzt sind wir gerade mit fast 8 Knoten unterwegs. Aber hast du nur 2,5 gehabt.
We made 140 miles in 24 hours that day. But the winds weren't that steady, and they would get worse.
Es ist Abend. Und wir haben 2 Gäste an Bord.
In unsteady winds we managed to sail past Antiope Reef, and there we caught 2 fish. We enjoyed the fish and the unsteady sailing. The wind changed from 8 to 18 knots. It would drop again suddenly and pick up. This was way better than no wind, but time to hop in the big blue again. We rolled and rolled and rolled. At least we could charge the batteries. And every little movement was highly appreciated. The forecast looked bad. So was the wind. Should we stay or should we motor? The perspective wasn't too great. The wind was 80 miles ahead. So finally, we decided to switch on the engine. Half a day later, we were greeted by the birds. We had managed to sail a little bit in the morning, but getting into Tonga, we had to motor again. Soon we were no longer alone. We saw the supply ship. There were many cruisers around us and whale watching tours. We entered into Refuge Bay in the late afternoon to do the check-in. After filling in tons of forms, we grabbed the mooring and watched the race. A local restaurant organizes a race every Friday. This time there were 10 boats. We watched our friends on Oso and enjoyed an arrival drink.